So today I will be talking about fairness in these districts. I personally made these districts by myself. So the yellow is for K, the green is, I believe, for M, red or pink, very similar to red, is for L, and purple is for N. So I created this and tried to make it as fair as possible. So to me, the definition of fair is everyone gets as equal amount of votes, we'll say, as possible. So when we talk about being fair, I talk about having the same thing as someone. So as in voting rights. Everyone should have equal amount of votes. So if one person gets one vote, everyone else should get one vote. If they don't, to me, that's biased. They really shouldn't be doing that. So to me, I made these fair districts. To me, the fair districts mean these are broken down and into 7 districts, I believe, to basically put everything together in who, like, Republicans, Democrats, or independents should be voting for. So as you see, there's a lot of black lines and everything, but in the top left corner, that would be the Democratic side for K. Then if you look on the bottom where IL is, that is the independent for candidate L. I broke this off into many different kind of standards, I would say, to make them as fair as possible. You can't really get everything to be, since there's 4 candidates, each 25% because you wouldn't have a clear winner. Unless you counted the votes separately. If there were 2 clear winners, you would do different voting systems for that. So, for my plan to be fair, it was kind of hard. It took me a while to get this map fully down, to kind of just get it to be precise as I wanted it. And I feel like I could have done a few other things to be more fair, but it was kind of hard to just move things around and try to get them as perfect as possible. What I've learned in class is not everything is going to be perfect from my standpoint. So, if someone were to argue on my fair districts, my guess is that they would say that I tried to kind of distinguish everything to be precise as possible, as in put all the Democrats together and put all the Republicans better and independents. It was really hard to get everything to be as good as I did. I'm kind of surprised myself as I got this. And they would probably say that everything is too compact with Democratic Party and the Republican Party, and it's not really that spread out. I would say, like, if in a district, if you have all Democratic people, you want to have more Democratic people in your district. Therefore, when it's voting time, they count the districts to see who's the more Democratic side, and they would more than likely pick the more Democratic side if they were all combined. So I feel like that's how it should be. And to me, the conception of fairness and to obtain the districting process, like, I feel like the states do a very well job. Like, my city slash district is well rounded. Like, every other year, every other 4 years, it kind of fluctuates between Republican and Democratic. I feel like they do a very nice job of kind of dividing it into different sides and everything. And feel like we have like fair elections every single year or every 4 years. I can't remember when we vote, but I feel like they do a very nice job of getting different districts, like the kind of attention that they need. In my group project, well, not project, group discussion, uh, we were talking about like being compact or like not being compact. I feel like we should be compact because if you have a more compact district of, let's say, Republicans, that district will lean towards Republicans. And if like it fluctuates, like it's kind of like unfair in a way, I would say, because you want more of a district to be contained, not just out there and having one party win every single year. Like you'll have that because people won't move and such, and new people won't move in. But like there's sometimes if Ohioans want to move down to Florida and live down there because of the nicer weather, like that's when everything might start changing and everything. And now we'll get into the math aspect of this. There are, I believe, 246 people in the population in this entire map, and it was kind of different than what I've seen from class. It's like it's much bigger and it's more compact, and it should just be just kind of doing everything to like, how do I put it, keep all the Democratic and Republican parties and independents like kind of away from each other, but also keep them in the same district because you never know who's going to move in and who's going to move out of the districts. So the numerical data that I calculated seems like the Democratic Party has won, and as you see, like in the top left corner, top right, the middle of the right, and somewhat bottom left, I tried to kind of disperse them, but also put them in their own district. And it seems in 4 out of the 7 districts, the Democratic Party would win. And in the top left, I believe I counted that would be the number one district to win because of how many votes they had. And that was like one of the key things for me that was like the main thing I found like kind of amusing was that the Democratic Party almost won in every single district. And my analysis was, I believe, successful. I thought that the Democrats would win the entire election, and I was correct. They still had 118 votes, and I believe the Republicans had 96, and then the others were all independent. And I believe it did meet the criteria. I feel like I could fix a few other things to try to help it, like put more of the independents together and put more of the Republicans together, but they also are voting for a different candidate. So it was kind of rough, and it was just kind of time consuming of how I was doing things, trying to just get everything in and trying to make everything look as perfect as possible. I believe the districts represent really well with the population. I still feel that the N candidate in the purple on the bottom right, I feel like he would have the more votes because you would see like there's more boxes filled out for that voter. But I believe green or yellow would, I think, take it because of all of the combined votes. In my group discussion, we talked about when a district is compact, like you need other things to help, like a partisanship or like communities and interest. So if there were another district with different communities, as in the LGBTQ community. They wanted to help support, just throw it out there, the Democratic Party. They would help try to get that candidate represented for their state. And it would go the same thing if there was another group for the Republicans or the Independents. That's kind of how like we were talking about and would think everything would be fair in a sense to make everything in Squareville perfectly fair. Thank you.